In this video, we will explain how to collect field data relating to linear assets. We will firstly list the field data to be collected. We will then take a look at the techniques and tools enabling data collection. First of all, why does data need to be collected, and what data are we talking about? For effective asset management, it is essential to have a precise and realistic image of assets. For this, it is necessary to possess a maximum amount of asset-related field data. There is, firstly, essential data, which is intrinsic to pipelines, such as a schematic diagram of the network, the nature of materials, the length of the pipeline, the diameter, the thickness, the pressure range withstood by the pipeline, and the brand. On its own, this data is generally insufficient. It's therefore necessary to go even further in terms of data collection to include data concerning the facility, such as depth, the type of joint, actual pressure in the pipeline, and the number of connections, as well as any other data which seems relevant. Lastly, it is also useful to include environmental-related data, such as the type of soil and its aggressiveness, the aggressiveness of the water flowing through the pipelines, i.e., its capacity to corrode metals, the precise location. In other words, if a pipeline is located under a roadway, a field, a pavement, exposure to bad weather, the installation type. In other words, if the pipeline is laid directly on the ground, on a bed of sand, or on other materials taken to the site. So, let's now see how to collect this field data. Let's begin by data intrinsic to pipelines. As regards the schematic diagram of the network, it is necessary to proceed by deduction, listing the location of accessories accessible at surface level, such as valves and manholes, and making hypotheses about what is to be found between each one underground. For the diameter, it suffices to use a caliper. For length, an odometer. For thickness, a ruler, if it's possible to access a section of the pipeline. Otherwise, an ultrasound instrument. The brand, the material, and the pressure range are generally provided by the manufacturer and may also be listed on pipeline identification plates. As much pipeline installation data as possible must be collected during this stage, namely with respect to depth and the number of connections. As regards pressure, it's possible to install pressure gauges at strategic points on the network in order to obtain data continuously. Lastly, for data relating to the environment of pipelines, it's important to take photos, which constitute a reliable source of information. Data on the aggressiveness of water and soils can be included on maps or measured periodically. As for exposure to bad weather, it's necessary to refer to the region's meteorological data. It is essential to index field data in a GIS. This permits quick and easy access to necessary data and permits efficient asset management. Field data collection can also be improved by developing survey forms and mobile apps. So, let's go over the main points again. Field data collection constitutes an essential source of information on linear assets. It's divided into three categories: data intrinsic to pipelines, facility-related data, and environment-related data. A technique or collection tool corresponds to every type of data.